Another UConn game, another 5-minute game recap. Today, UConn was in Wisconsin playing Marquette for New Year's Day. My overall thoughts on today's game are that I thought UConn actually had a better performance today than they did in the last game versus Providence overall. The Providence game was definitely a tale of two halves. They came out super hot in that Providence game, but then in the second half, things grew a lot more stagnant. They were really struggling to score, and also their defensive energy was kind of letting up. And I think that for UConn, although today's game was slow and frustrating at points, it seemed to be a more consistent game from them. It was just the case today that no one got really hot. And then some of UConn's primary scorers in Paige Beckers and AZ Fudge struggled from the field. And that was different from the Providence game where Paige came out really hot in that first quarter and definitely drove the team's offensive production. But the reason I have more positive takeaways and feel more satisfied with today's performance is because of the mix of contributions that we saw from UConn and how they really did get everyone involved. I think that mix of contributions and having people grow into their roles is really what Big East play is all about. I also have a lot of confidence in the leaders and star players of this UConn team, so when they have off shooting nights, it's not necessarily something that I really worry about too much. Of course, there's room to grow and areas to adjust, but I'm not especially concerned that Paige and AZ had off shooting nights. Okay, moving on to my top 5 takeaways, except there might be more than 5. We might have bonus takeaways, which again is a good thing because it highlights how many contributions there were. But the first player I have to talk about is KK Arnold. First of all, it was a homecoming sort of game for her because she is from Wisconsin, so I'm glad to see that she played so well in front of a home crowd. I don't think any player on UConn outside of Paige, Sarah, and AZ, who are kind of locks for their minutes, but I don't think any player in this recent stretch of games has earned their minutes in game as much as KK Arnold has. She has been so much fun to watch in this recent stretch. The immediate defensive intensity that she brings to the game is so valuable for this UConn team. You can quite literally feel a switch flipping whenever she gets into the game. It's really commendable. But I do want to touch more on her offensive contributions in this game. She had a season high 13 points, and a lot of those points came off of really strong, confident drives to the basket. She was consistently able to get a step on sometimes multiple defenders, and I was just really impressed by how decisive she was driving to the basket. Sometimes, again, I feel like she hesitates a little bit, and that allows her defenders to recover and block her shots, especially because she is a smaller guard. I saw a lot less of that this afternoon, and she even said that she felt less tense today. She was more focused on slowing down, reading the game, and in her sophomore year, especially in this recent stretch of games, it really does feel like she is playing a little bit slower, becoming more disciplined, improving her decision making, and these are all really valuable skills, especially as a point guard, so I was really thrilled to see that. Second, I wanted to talk about Jana El Alfi's performance. She got her second start today. There was a bit of a scare in the first half about a potential lower back injury, so I was really glad to see that she came out of the locker room to start the second half. She's only becoming more and more valuable to how this team plays, so just very glad to see that she was okay. I also really appreciated her aggressiveness on the offensive side of the ball to start the second half. She's definitely still refining her offensive game, figuring out how she can be successful posting up and with those back to the basket shots. I'm just glad to see that she's getting more and more reps to practice that, and I think we're definitely seeing a positive trajectory from her. She scored in double figures today, was really active, and showed the impact of her presence on both sides of the ball. She did get into some foul trouble though, but like I said, I think she will learn with time and continue to make adjustments for how to position herself defensively. Next, I just want to commend Sarah Strong for her consistency. I am projecting that Sarah Strong will probably be a main takeaway of every game that UConn will play this season. She shows up every day and you know exactly what you're going to get from her. I kind of would have liked for her to get more offensive touches today, but she still did lead the team in scoring. So even in a game where I feel like she wasn't being fed as much as she was in some previous games, she's still there, she is still on it. She, less than 15 games into her college career, has made herself an indispensable part of this UConn team and of these game recaps. I never want to take for granted Sarah Strong's game and production. She deserves her flowers every single game. This player I wasn't actually sure if I was going to include in my main takeaways, but I just feel compelled to talk about her. Ashlyn Shade had a quiet night offensively. She only took 4 shots, and I personally feel like Ashlyn Shade should be taking a lot more than 4 shots and would really like to see her become a more confident and more consistent player in Big East play. So although I know that UConn is still figuring out their lineups and how these players fit together, and now that we've seen most of the healthy players contribute to this team and become people who deserve playing time, UConn does run into the issue where they have to figure out how to split up these minutes. I do still think that UConn should find ways to keep her an involved and prominent part of the offense, because I do think that out of the guards that UConn has not named Paige or AZ, she is the one who is the most willing to shoot. She is UConn's next biggest threat from 3. Some people feel that Ashlyn Shade maybe should move into the starting lineup because again, she's kind of positioned positioned herself as that next scoring threat after Paige, Sarah, Azzi. Personally, for that exact reason, the fact that she is that next viable scorer after the big three, I do feel like she actually has to come off the bench. I think she's actually needed as that off the bench plug-in scorer. But either way, I think she is a very valuable player to this team, especially if she becomes more aggressive and consistent with her shot. But also, I would just like to commend her for her defensive effort. She's had an impressive jump defensively from her freshman to sophomore year, but especially in this recent stretch, she's just become a pest on the defensive side of the ball. Her hands are always up, she's always trapping people, she's boxing out for rebounds. All of those fundamental things that really do add up. These last three takeaways will be quicker, I promise. Starting with Allie Zabel, who this was also a homecoming-esque game for her because she is also from Wisconsin. So I love to see that she did get some minutes, but I would actually like to see more minutes from her. Again, I'm of the opinion that UConn needs to build up more viable, trusted scorers. And for Allie Zabel, what that would mean is not necessarily like shot creation, but being the person in the corner who can knock down the three when needed. It would just be great to have another sharpshooter on this team, and Allie seems like the most viable option based on her existing skills beyond the arc. So I'm definitely an advocate for more minutes from her. And I actually really did like when Gino benched most of the starters and played that KK, Ashlyn, Allie, Morgan, Ice lineup. I enjoyed watching those players get reps in the third quarter. For the other freshman, Morgan Shelley, I definitely see her becoming more comfortable getting into the motions of things. And she just seems like a sponge, someone who's going to come in, work hard day in, day out, do whatever the team needs them, adjust to any role, and I really applaud that. My last takeaway and the biggest area of growth that I would comment on for this UConn team from this game and from recent games as well is that I really hope to see these slow starts into quarters disappear more and more, especially at the beginning of the first quarter and the third quarter. I just think it really hurts to come out slow. These past two third quarters have seemed especially challenging on the offensive side of the ball, and it's definitely something to stamp out quickly. I do like that UConn seems to be focusing on feeding Jana towards the beginning of the quarter. I think that's definitely been important, and it has really been helping with her progression. But if UConn is coming out of the gates kind of slow, I really would like Paige to be a bit more aggressive at that point, because I just have full faith in her to score. This could also be said for Sarah Strong, for that matter. Those two are just so dependable. Paige Beckers did just have an off night. She was 4 for 12 from the field, and I cannot remember the last time that Paige Beckers shot 33% from the field. It's just so rare from her. But again, off nights happen. So those were my main takeaways from today's game against Marquette. I really enjoyed this game, and I have a lot of positive takeaways coming out of it. As always, room for growth, but really what I want to see from these players and from this UConn team is them getting into rhythm, strengthening their connections, and I'm very optimistic that things will fall into place as a result. I'm looking forward to enjoying every second of it. Let me know what your thoughts and main takeaways were. I hope that everyone also enjoyed watching the game to kick off the new year, and I also hit 100 subscribers sometime this morning on New Year's, which I am a little baffled by considering this channel is only 4 days old. It means a lot to me. I'm very appreciative of everyone who takes the time to watch my videos. There's nothing I love more than to watch and talk about UConn women's basketball, so I'm having a blast. The videos will definitely keep coming, and I'm very excited for what 2025 holds. And that's what happened with the Huskies today. Till next time.